Hello there, everyone.
Hey, what's going on? We are here to give you our fabulous commentary on the Fastlane.
Oh, I thought it was the Fast Five. No?
The Fastlane of 2023. We are here to tell you about all 5 matches, tell you the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yeah, I guess. Well, let's get started. The first one was...
Let's start with the first match.
Yeah.
It was
Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso versus the Judgment Day, Finn Balor, and Damian Priest.
Yeah, Damian Priest. So, do you want me to go first on that one, or you, and then as every other match, then the opposite person will go first?
It don't matter.
All right. Well, you could take this one then. All right, then I'll go first.
Go for it.
All right. So I actually thought, as most people, I thought that the Judgment Day, they were going to win. I thought that the American Nightmare was possibly going to get a title shot within the next couple of months. What the happened? So it just didn't make much sense to me that one fellow, what's his name?
Oos.
Yeah, Jay is over here now by himself. I didn't think.
Well, he's the main event starting the show.
I know, but I didn't think that Vince McMahon would just want him to pair up to get another tag team so fast, and it just made sense to me that the Judgment Day would keep those titles because they've only had them for not that long. It's been like a month and a half or something.
Probably around there. You know what I think is going on? Ever since they just did like a full 180. What's so funny? And then they decided that Rhea was the big boss now. Yeah. I think that they're going for like a little theme where they lose the title and then she probably
gets upset,
cracks the whip at them, and then they gain it back later on. I'm not necessarily against them, being like, because I kind of do want to avoid like a bloodline sort of scenario where they just hold all the titles forever. I think that this one's a little bit different since, neither Damian Priest or Finn Balor are going to disappear for months at a time. What's going on over here?
Go for it. Say it.
I'm saying it. So I don't think that I think that it's fine. I think especially because they got a bunch of members anyways. They have Dominic and the Irish Ace. I mean, he's an unofficial member.
Well, he's an adopted son.
I think he's the ace up their sleeve.
I actually think how they gave them a nasty whipping earlier this week was some good shit. They had John Cena, Cody Rhodes, the Megastar, and a few other people just gave them a good old-fashioned whipping.
Well, I prefer more fair fights.
So do I. But if the person isn't fair himself, he needs to be disciplined. That's all I'm saying. Well, so I actually think that how the fight finished was actually pretty good. I thought how Jey Uso and Cody did that finishing move was actually pretty good. And actually, this is something that I told you about. That I am not a fan of how Rhea Ripley seems to like interfere always, and nobody seems to do almost anything to her. Yes, I understand that this is not back
in the Attitude Era.
Back in the Attitude and WWF
and beforehand, yes.
Yeah, and WWF when we have to remember this ain't real as. So I always thought, why did she get away with everything? Because every time that she does something bad, always happens to the other team. So a part of me says they should spank her in the tush, or else
they're not gonna do that.
Or else they should push her, just physically shove her somewhere. But because it's an ongoing theme that she always gets away with it. But her boy toy, they down, but like he gets a beating all the time, which he deserves.
Well, we're gonna keep it PG here, but I know where you're getting your ideas from with the with what you want happening with Rhea. But anyways,
Yes, sicko.
yeah, you are. Anyways,
Should we go to the second match?
I think so. Well, I'll just say this. I think that it's fine that they won. You know, this. I'm not necessarily too high on the whole main event Uso Jay thing, but I think it's good that they're trying to separate a tag team and trying to do different things with them. It seems that the fans do like them. So, and Cody's, I don't know when he's supposed to get like a title shot. Which, that's another thing too. So it's good that they're at least held some gold or are doing something.
Well, that's the only reason why I thought that they were going to lose. Well, I thought one, the Judgment Day is going to interfere as they always tend to do, and then the second one, I just thought, no, I think that Cody's going to get another shot because of the whole WrestleMania and so forth, and then him. So I just
well, there's still plenty of time for WrestleMania. Or are you talking about the last one?
No, yes, I was talking about the one versus him and Roman Reigns. I just thought, okay, he's gonna get a shot because he's pretty damn popular still. All right, but that one.
The next one was it the Bobby Lashley versus?
No, yes. So
it was that one.
The second match was the Latino World Order, Rey Mysterio and Santos Escobar versus Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits, which is Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford, and the special teammate for Rey Mysterio and Escobar was Carlito, which that was pretty cool.
Gee, spoilers. He didn't show up right away. There was a few people that I thought it could be. I thought it was either going to be was that guy called Dragon Lee or I don't remember who else I thought before, but yeah, Carlitos was one of the choices. I don't know if they're going to keep him around. What I will say is that I did have a problem with is that those I don't know their names of the other LWO members. Funny enough, we're actually Latinos ourselves, and I would love to cheer for the LWO. I would love to wear an LWO shirt or something like that, but they're the only one that really seems to win is like Rey Mysterio from time to time. And the other ones seem to be just losing stock week to week, like because they were out of this match because they took one move on the outside.
Well, yeah, and that was supposed to be them there. And for some reason they just can't make it.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, but if they added Carlitos permanently, I don't know, maybe it can breathe some new life into it. Like I do want the group to work in some form or another. But it seems like more of like it should be more of a heel faction. Maybe I'm just used to. I think that Escobar guy was a heel in NXT. I didn't really see that time period though. But
yeah, me neither.
But it was a fine match. It was of course big strong guy versus little Rey Mysterio. It was a serviceable match. They're both. Are they in their 50s or they're close to it, right?
Oh. No, Ray is 49, and Bobby, he's in his 40s. And Bobby Lashley is 47. Oh, damn.
Yeah, so they're both getting up there, but they still did a pretty good match for, it was a very standard sort of match in that sense where Bobby was just bullying him around. Ray was getting his hope spots. And
it says right here on Wikipedia.
No. Okay, I'm getting them confused. Bobby didn't fight Rey Mysterio. That was during the he did. Okay, because we also saw the SmackDown beforehand where it was just Bobby versus Rey, which that was with that standard match. But the pay-per-view was they were mostly getting. Yes, that was my problem. So Escobar at some point during the match just got whooped on the outside, similar to his other LWO teammates, and he was just gone. So they were just whooping on Rey Mysterio for a while. Remember that?
Yeah.
And then until Carlitos came and then finished the rest of the match, he did about like 10 moves. But yeah, like I said, if he sticks around, that'll be neat. Like it brings some fresh, interesting take to this because I'm not too high on them right now, but I do want them to do well.
And then for the third match, which was my favorite match, was the triple threat match for the women's champion. It was Charlotte Flair, Asuka, and Io Sky. I actually thought that one was the best match because I am personally not a fan with these matches where one person takes a beating for most of the match, and then he somehow wins.
Should I open them like Stone Cold or what?
Maybe not here because it's our own home and things are gonna get dirty.
But I just cleaned the place.
I wish that was true. But as I was saying, yes, this was my favorite match by far, and this one I enjoyed it because all three participated pretty like one third, and
I think it was my favorite match as well. Yeah,
and so just real quickly, I actually stopped watching WWE for a really long time, like 10 to 15 years, and I started watching again in WrestleMania. And for some reason, when I was seeing it, like I was telling myself, this is some old memories when I was a kid. I was saying, wow, this is this nostalgia because oh man, when I was a kid from like 2 years old to in my teens, like I would watch it every single week. It would be me, my dad, and my siblings. But I did stop, but when I rewatched it in WrestleMania, something rekindled inside me that said, no, there's still something here, even though you're a bit older. So I've been keeping up with it. But this was the second time seeing Charlotte Flair, and I think that she's my favorite. She's pretty damn tough, but she's
women's wrestler.
Yes. Okay. She's pretty tall for a woman, but she is incredibly She is incredibly what's the word for it? She could do so many things.
Graceful is the word that you were looking
She is she can do back flips, front flips, and then she's one of the few women that can actually do a punch that's actually realistic. Because you know how there's
is it better or worse than Solo Sikoi's punch?
Solo Sikoi's punch. He did some punches. When was it? I think it was yesterday, huh?
Yeah, he beat the hell out of that wind.
Well, he was supposedly beating up John Cena, but he did the punches so bad that you can just see him just missing completely.
So, well, that's how far John Cena was, like, as far as I am.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah, just like that.
But, you know, we're not going to rag on him at the moment. Like, I know that he's, like, a younger member that they, like, boosted up and all that stuff. But those punches are awful, and he needs to fix that. But, so for me, as far as the women go, I like all three of those wrestlers. I agree. I think it was the best match of the night. And that's surprising to say because I'm also not somebody that watches wrestling all the time. So I'm used to like the really bad, women's wrestling from back in the day. And yes, I've seen some of the newer ones, but this was a great match. I am a pretty big fan of Io Sky. And she's the one that retained the title.
Unfortunately,
so I think overall Asuka's my favorite out of the trio, but I think that her and Charlotte are getting a little bit older. So that I'm not saying that they got like a foot out the door, but they
I think that's what you're saying.
Well, that's not what I explicitly said. But no, I mean they still got some fuel in the tank, but it might be half empty. But anyways, I think that Io is the best wrestler of the moment of those three. I don't think that she's necessarily a heel. I think that's she does like Super Mario punches and he's a high flyer. Yeah, I don't know what that's about.
It's so funny because she's so small and stuff, but she winds up that punch.
Yeah, and then she celebrates after she does like a big
way too much.
Yeah, after she does like a big move. So in ring, she's not a heel at all, and she's small, so people just usually want to cheer for the smaller wrestlers anyways. Besides, like, I think Alexa Bliss is like one of the only like really good like heel wrestlers that was short. But I don't necessarily, if she doesn't actually know English too well, I don't necessarily know how you could make her like a face and have it work. True. I do think that group that they have is pretty entertaining.
She can be a star. But just
no, she is
just as you said, she doesn't.
Star. She's not as big as she probably could be.
Yeah, well, she can be someone that's a big star, such as Damon or Bloody Ripley because she can't speak English.
Yeah.
But maybe if they hire her, someone to talk for her.
Well, they have somebody to talk for her, but it happens to be a heel.
Yeah, but Bailey like also sounds very sweet, and she to me doesn't sound as the biggest heel either. But it is true because someone that's a heel, you have a certain stereotype.
Yeah.
But she's always smiling. She's always happy.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work for her.
But her in-ring work is great if you don't take into account that she's a heel, which I do think that a lot of the audience doesn't seem to. They just kind of like her. Mm-hmm. And of course Asuka's always, solid. Like, she usually gives a pretty good match. Yeah. But I think that the standout ones in that match were for sure Charlotte and Io.
Yeah, well, I was so impressed.
Which is interesting because obviously Asuka and Io have the history of them being tag team partners, and they did have like a kind of mini like singles match against each other when she sprayed that mystical mist on Charlotte's face. So she was there, but I do think that the ones that stood out more were the other two.
Yeah, well, as I said, that I was so impressed of Charlotte Flair. Mm-hmm. She was much taller than them, but her stuff looked believable.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. And the fourth match was a tag team match. It was for the titles. It was John Cena versus LA Knight versus Jimmy Uso and Solo Sikoa, with Paul Heyman as the wise man. Now this match, this was not my favorite, and the reason was, in general, I'm not a big fan when it's one-sided and they still somehow win. Well, and this is kind of how I saw it. That John Cena was taking a beating throughout the fight, and it was like a classic tag team match. To boil it down, it was John Cena was getting isolated and he was basically getting beaten for the whole match, and then there was going to be like a hope spot for LA Knight to just go in there and run rampant on them, and then of course it breaks down from there, and there's like a quick wrap up like a minute or two later. But yeah, for the most of the match, John Cena was getting whooped basically. I personally liked it a lot, but also thinking about it, like I said, for me it was fine, but I'm pretty sure maybe some people wanted to see more of John Cena actually work, but it probably did have to be some sort of a balance because I don't think that that Jimmy and Solo are at the same level as LA and what's it called? John Cena, yeah. Well, it's also they probably had to do like a balance between like a competitive match and what they ended up doing, just a more classic style tag team match. One of the things that I disliked was that LA Knight, he's a man right now. Mm-hmm. Like he's everybody's favorite. He's also my favorite. That he wasn't even like in the ring for that long, and I kind of said, okay, maybe this is a symbolic moment of John Cena passing the baton to LA Knight.
Yeah, I think that's what they're doing. And it's also getting LA Knight into
as being like the the main baby
bloodline business.
Oh yes,
which is very important if they're actually going to have him fight Roman Reigns whenever Roman Reigns shows up again.
I mean, they already announced
that he's going to be on SmackDown or something.
Yeah, which you would think that if you're the champion, you should be there, pretty consistent. But we haven't seen him in some time. But my whole thing was that LA Knight, he's the star of the moment, and we didn't really see him do much because he was outside, and I thought that John Cena was taking too much of a weapon. It wasn't much entertaining for me.
You think that John Cena might not be in the best shape to wrestle?
Probably too, but
maybe that was possible. Possibly why they had such a
that's also true. If they did, then LA Knight should have been in there a bit more too. But but maybe that was their intention.
But LA Knight also kind of has a limited move.
Yes, he does. Yes, he is.
And you don't want LA Knight to be the one getting whooped for like 10 minutes.
No. He is very stiff. LA Knight, his rise to fame isn't for his wrestling. It's because he's a great speaker.
Yeah, at least in the WWE, I know that he was in TNA
and we're not gonna talk about him
stuff.
being Maximilian, all that.
Oh, what are you talking about? But
and also, I think one of the negatives was because it seems that Solo still needs a little bit of,
I think so,
work.
Yeah, I think it does. But overall
right.
it was fine.
Yeah,
but if that is the reason why John Cena maybe didn't have the best match,
yeah, well,
it
he's
could
also
be.
man,
Because he's getting older.
He's also 46, and he's very buff. So we all know that for very built people, it's much harder. That's why, in my opinion, The Rock now is much more buff than when he was in the WWE.
Maybe also he has prior arrangements that he can't take too many risks with these companies. Who knows?
Yeah, because
regardless, he really didn't do much.
Yeah, because he does have a bunch of films and shows that he's into. Now, the main event was the last standing match with Seth freaking Rollins against Strong Style Shinsuke.
And beforehand, they played a clip of Damian Priest in the back being frustrated that he lost the title and the tag team titles, and saying he was going to cash it in that night. And the rest of the Judgment Day basically talked him out of it. Mostly Rhea.
Because she's the jefe?
Yeah, all of a sudden, but all right. Which I'm fine with her, but like I think that there should have been a little bit more of a story to her being the boss instead of just from one week to the next.
Yeah, she should.
I do think that she is the biggest star of the group at the moment. So I think it makes sense in that way, but I do think that there needed to be maybe more.
Yeah, something they should have played.
Because I know that there was turmoil with them, like that they were maybe going to break up, and then they didn't. Like Damian and Finn were duking it out.
They could also do something as when Dirty Dom lost the title, and then they won it next week. Maybe,
yeah, well, I think that they might.
Maybe
because
sure. I don't see Cody Rhodes and my fellow Uzi having those tag teams for a long time.
Probably not. They probably will do something like that. But the other thing was that they were showing that Cena in the back. So at first I was thinking, oh, well, maybe he is going to cash it in somehow still, even though Rhea basically took the briefcase away from him. But then as the match was going on, I was like, oh, well, okay, makes sense that these two are having, Shinsuke and Seth are having a last man standing match where they're beating the hell out of each other to the point where neither one of them can compete anymore. Why wouldn't Damian Priest come out and just cash it in after whoever won? And that was their way of explaining beforehand why that didn't happen. But yeah, the match in itself started off kind of slow, and then I think it did ramp up and it was all right by the end of it, I think.
Well, my whole thing is kind of it was usually one-sided. Seth Rollins was taking a beating for the most part, which is matches like this tend to happen. But what I was telling you is that there's something here missing.
Oh, and that's specific match.
Yeah. Like when it was Strong Style against Seth, that I was saying something's missing because they are fighting each other. They are pitting each other. It's and they are pitting each other with chairs, tables, and all this stuff. But for some reason, they are missing. I don't know if it was finesse or if it was charisma, but then you point at something out that's probably it, which was the one that they don't have a huge story.
Yeah, so they have a rivalry in a sense, but I think with a lot of these Seth Rollins matches that he's the fighting champion sort of thing, it's more of like somebody gets like a quick buildup of like a month or two, and it's not as like people aren't as invested into the story, even though like I'm invested in the sense that I think Shinsuke's a great wrestler and I would want to see him win, but I'm not necessarily invested in the story of them telling it week to week. Like, yeah, they're like, I think that they're telling, it's too grand of a story for how short of a build it has. And Seth Shinsuke all of a sudden just wants to cripple Seth. And yes, it happened over the course of a few weeks, but like still, I don't think that there's enough history there for him to want to cripple him and to have this and for Seth to keep on like weeping about his family and how he's fighting for them and this and that. Like, it seems like too much for such a little buildup.
Well, it does seem a bit when they are having this type of match that they are hitting each other with all kinds of things. Usually it does take a few months to build up and actually, because that's what people want to see, a good story, you know? And then I also, well, this match was overall fine, but I don't enjoy it when it's one-sided a lot, and then the winner still somehow wins by like 2 finishing moves.
Well, and that's another thing too why I wasn't as invested, because I didn't see Shinsuke winning the title, or if he did win it, I didn't see him holding it for a long time. Like, I don't know what's actually going on with Seth's back. I didn't look into it, you know, outside of what they tell me there. Like, I didn't see if he actually has some sort of medical problems with his back or not, but yeah, I don't know what's going on with the Seth thing right now. Like, I guess that they're trying to make it interesting and exciting because Roman's gone for so long, but I think it's too soon for a lot of these feuds that he seems to have recently. But the matches are good. Besides that, the wrestling's good, but you know, the actual investment isn't as high.
Yeah, because usually when you see big fights, you really are rooting for someone because of the story, whether they're a baby or if they're a heel. For example, when it was Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns, people really wanted to watch that. Me, I was going for Cody Rhodes. So when he lost, like, I was bummed about it. I was like, God damn it, that sucks. And yeah, but this one, it seemed that okay, they were feuding for a few weeks. I don't see Shinsuke winning one because he can't speak English well. Another one, because this one just came out like out of the blue. Shinsuke, I didn't really see him do that many fights in the past. So a part of me thinks they're just gonna build it up for someone else. Maybe like LA Knight or
because LA's on SmackDown, so.
Well, we know that Cody is not going to win at least, or even get a shot for at least a few weeks.
I think that Damian Priest is going to win it in like a month or two, maybe.
But he's going to be Seth. He won't be.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Roman.
Yeah, I don't think he's going for Roman. I think it would make more sense.
Yeah, because to be Roman, you do have to have a story.
And they do have that history already because Seth was fighting Finn and that whole bloodline thing, and then and Damian was also fighting Seth.
Yeah.
So there is more of a story there, and
maybe that's why
they
lost the titles.
Judgment Day is getting a lot of spotlight. They're way bigger and more important faction right now than the Bloodline was. It seems that they've taken that spot. They're even working with the Bloodline.
That was the best scene. Was when
that was on SmackDown, but still that was
it was when Rhea Ripley told what's his name?
Paul Heyman.
Paul Heyman acknowledged me. Like it was a pretty cool moment, which he probably will.
Yeah,
because he's a cheeky weasel.
Yeah, I could see him doing that eventually. I still don't know what they're gonna do with Roman. I think that a lot of it has to do with maybe if like The Rock ever competes or what's going on. At first they were waiting for like a set amount of days, but you know, whatever's going on there. I think whenever that title, whenever he finally loses it, it's going to get a lot more exciting because I see a lot of potential stars that could at least hold the title for a little bit, like LA Knight, Cody Rhodes.
Sami Zayn could hold it for a month or two.
Yeah, for like probably even for a few weeks it would be fine.
Yeah.
And he's one of my favorites, but I don't think that he needs it. I think that he's better at chasing a title. Gunther, I'm sure he's going to hold it.
He would be a pretty good heel.
Damian Priest. There's a lot of people.
Oh, that's his name, Damian. I keep on calling him Judas.
Yeah, because you're thinking of Judas Priest.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, and I'm sure I'm missing a few more, but those for sure are there. Ready.
Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
It's about like 3 to 5 people.
Yeah, and then I don't know what they're doing with Austin Theory, but they need to at invest more into him.
Yeah.
I'm actually glad that he lost the United States Championship because they weren't doing anything with him with it, like not really anything exciting. But
especially because he's only 26 years old, and he already has that physique for it. Because usually it takes a few years until you actually build up, and he does have a persona of being a damn heel, but somebody got to have him. Well, it's that thing that I was telling you, that it seems to me that WWE has too much talent, and they can't put spotlight, so they got to figure it out. Maybe but he should be one of their top stars. Yeah,
but I think that's it for this one.
Yeah, so overall, I enjoyed it. It was only 5 matches anyways. I think that a triple threat match of the women's was actually pretty damn good. And I hope you guys just tune in and watch it yourselves and whatever.
Yeah, maybe next time we'll do it live, but for whatever reason, YouTube didn't let us this time. But we'll see. We're going to keep at it for this. We do have we have an interesting wrestling history where we've probably seen it a bunch throughout our lives, but never for like extended periods of like a decade plus.
Well, never consistently.
Yeah, but yeah, no, I got my earliest memory of wrestling is like Shawn Michaels versus Mankind, when Mankind was still wearing the brown jumpsuit sort of thing that he was wearing. So I've been watching for a long time, but on and off, like you said. But yeah.
All right, guys. We'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out.